Board at quarter time, came up with a 6 goals 4 burst in that very vital second quarter. An excellent effort from the Square boys.
And they played some good football in that second term, Richard, no doubts about that. And it's 10-6, 66 to 9-5, 59. The Bendigo Football League Grand Final is half over, and the favourite Sandhurst are trailing, surprisingly, by 7 points at half-time. They're down because they haven't had a great deal of value from Big Kerwin on the half-forward line. They've had well, only a minimum of value from their two talented players in Michael Lenigan and Frankie Coughlin. They've been out-roved, and certainly they need a lift too around the packs, where certainly they've been out-roved, but they've also been out-ruck-roved. Every time the ball hits the ground, it's been GoldenSq with players like Gallagher and these sorts of players, Greg Williams, who've been able to come away with the ball. We've got a great grand final on our hands. You're watching it through TV8, and the siren has just gone.
Warren Wingwater put the ball down, Shane. Done quite well, the umpires, really.
They haven't been too bad, Richard. There's the bounce of the ball now to get the second half underway, and Billy Nelder got it to Paul Bowe. He got it straight to Michael Lenigan, and look at the torpedo punt. Collins is underneath it. It bounces past both he and Davey. Davey leads in the race for the ball, drives it around the back flank, but it's out on the full, and Sandhurst will take the resultant free kick. And I think you'll find it might be full forward David Collins to go over and have the kick. I'll just check on it for you now. You can see Collins picking up the ball now on your monitor. And we'll have a look now. David Collins, century goal kicker, kicking his 100th goal this afternoon. Very deep forward pockets here at the QEO for those who don't know the ground. He's on the grandstand side, kicking to the city end goals, trying the banana bender. Oh, and he's hit the post.
Oh, what an unfortunate one for David Collins. He tried the banana bender, holding it on the angle. It screwed in towards the goal, but hit the far post. A point only to David Collins. That gives him 3 goals, 2 for the day.
1 minute into the third term, and of course we see GoldenSq leading Sandhurst by just 1 goal.
There's the kick out now. It goes up towards centre half back. Up goes Frankie Coughlin. Couldn't take the mark. Stephen Road comes out with the ball. He fires wide. Hand pass comes back to Stephen Road from Kerwin, and he gets it further afield to Frankie Coughlin, who's made good position out in front of Kruger, who's on the ground now. Kruger on the ground, number 2 for GoldenSq. Frankie Coughlin can't do a thing right. His pass was a shocker. Chipping in there for GoldenSq was Dillon. A tackle going against GoldenSq here, dropping the ball, and it's Paul Bowe to take the free kick. He drives to Stephen Road. Dust coming up there now as the sunshine really becomes quite potent here at the QEO. The last game I called here for Channel 8 was the Country League versus the Amateurs, and we had the woolly jumpers and a very cool breeze coming through this afternoon. It's quite the opposite on this beautiful springtime day in Bendigo, and as you can see, Billy Nelder's got the mark. Left totally unattended, Alan. That was bad defence.
Yes, Bill playing like a rover, running down the centre of the ground to take that pass, and there's his kick. It could be a good one too. The goal umpire standing. It's over the top, and that's a real lifter for the Sandhurst club as Bill Nelder boots his first goal. He's one of the veterans at 29 years of age in the Sandhurst lineup this afternoon, and the scores are level. Played 3 minutes now into the third term of the Bendigo Football League Grand Final.
I think that's a very optimistic summation of the facts of life by the Sandhurst committee by submitting Bill Nelder's age as 29. But that was a good goal. I think Billy would probably admit to 4 or 5 more years than that. But he has played extremely well, and you can see him. He was ready for that short pass, and in he went.
Oh, great play from Nelder, one of Sandhurst's better players. He got the punch away. Bowe chips in, getting a lot of balls out of the centre. Bowe at the moment. Kruger's in there for GoldenSq. Breeze blowing down the centre of the ground. Have Sandhurst lifted with that great goal from Nelder as the hand pass comes across now, and it's Kent Ward having a shot. David Collins shepherding Davey. 1 point only. 1 point to the Sandhurst side. Kent Ward and Paul Bowe are chipping in around the packs, and Sandhurst have lifted, and they certainly needed a lift in that position as the kick out comes from Davey. Blavey leading in the race for the ball. Gooch is on now for this Sandhurst side, and that GoldenSq player in Blavey, outnumbered there by 2 to 1, forces the ball over the boundary line for a throw in. And the breeze more coming across the ground now than down the ground as Kerwin and Adlam do the ruck work, and Kerwin got it down. Lee Gallagher chips in. His hand pass to Tony Cowling was a poor one. Oh, Cowling was nailed there. Picked up by Gooch. Collins has got the set. Oh, punched away by Davey. Comes to the ground. There's a GoldenSq player getting a backhander, and it will be Noel Dillon, I think you'll find. No, it's not Dillon. It's Kenny Smith to get up and take this free kick for the blue and gold side. Ball's in the back pocket area for GoldenSq. They are dead level with Sandhurst in the grand final. In fact, Sandhurst have got their noses in front by a point after that last shot. There's a good mark from Noel Cowling. Ball's on the outer side. It's on the half-back flank. Cowling marking in front of Bradley Gooch, who's on the ground. Looking up there for Adlam. Nalder goes up. Nearly took a beautiful one-hander. Ball comes to Belsar. Bursts his way through. Fires to Kerwin. Kerwin couldn't hold the mark. There goes Maloney. Gets the hand pass to Hull. Put away the glasses when Hull gets it usually. It's home.
Greg Hull.
Great goal.
Number 5 to Greg Hull. Goal number 5.
Individual effort by Greg Hull. There's the replay, and the umpire moving across underneath the ball, and it's through for another goal for Sandhurst. They go to a 6-point lead now with Greg Hull dominated in the forward line for Sandhurst with 5 goals.
Been a match winner down there, there's no doubts about that. 7 points in front now, 11-7 playing 10-6 after 5 minutes of this third term. Ball on its way back to the centre, and Brendan Maloney set that one up, Richard. He's a very creative player when he gets going.
Yes, Brendan Maloney did well. As we said earlier in the game, he came running downfield from the back line to get a goal, and that was his goal after Noel Belsar forged through a pack.
Out in the centre again, up they go, Nalder and Adlam. Greg Williams sharking, gets a scrambly kick toward Mal Cowling, who drives long. Jones out in front there. Oh, nearly took a good mark out in front of Pickering. He's got the pace to recover. In goes Elkington. Now they've swapped Elkington and Maloney over. I'd say you'd find Richard Elkington to the back line as Blorfus runs into the open goal. Oh, fired the hand pass to Kruger. I don't know why. Kruger's got no time now, and Belsar comes out like a train. Bad mistake from GoldenSq. He'll kick wide toward the wing, and Stephen Rhodes out in front, but the ball beats him to the boundary. And let's get back to that Elkington-Maloney move. I think Elkington's gone to the defence and Maloney to centre half forward. Richard?
No, there's Kerwin over there on Kenny Smith. No, Kerwin's still there. I think we'll pick up Maloney in a minute. That was great defensive play by Noel Belsar. Viewers will see why he's one of the players in the Bendigo League team.
No doubts about that. Now we've got a ruck infringement going against Billy Nalder this time. Had a few words to the umpire too, just congratulating him on his fine effort, I'm sure, as Ross Adlam drives toward Patterson. Storer over the back, doing a good spoiling job. Ball comes to the ground. Vic Allen's in there now. He drives around past the South Bendigo Social Club area. Well sharked Andrew Storer. You got legged and you must take a free kick, my boy. And back you go now, and you're on the half-back flank on the grandstand side of the ground. Drives toward Paul Bow. Lee Gallagher over the back, and Lee Gallagher's taken a fine mark. GoldenSq attacking side of centre, drives across toward the full forward position. Johnny Williams up there. I've got a feeling Williams may be ruck roving in this term, and I've got a feeling Maloney may be playing the same role.
Could well be, Shane. Anyway, John Williams took a strong mark there at centre half forward. Did his week suspension last week when GoldenSq played in the preliminary final against South Bendigo, but there he is now, John Williams lining up for goal. It's straight, but it's a little short, and the clearing punch comes from Sandhurst. They fall on the ball. Somebody once said that clubs should devote one special coach to just falling on the ball skills.
Certainly become an art in football these days. There's the bounce of the ball. GoldenSq needing a goal. They trail by 7 points in the third term. Nalder gets the punch away. Michael Lenigan leads in the race. Let's see if he gets a favourable bounce this time. He does. Onto his favoured left foot he goes, and Maloney's made good position out in front of Paul Rodder. I can't work out the moves. I'd say Paul Rodder's back in defence this quarter. Now it's McAvale picking up. He's got yards in front of Tony Cowling. Fires the pass into Stephen Road. Out comes Coughlin. Meets Road heavily. And
Charger Davey. Charger put Stephen Road down there. He came out to meet the ball. Left Collins unattended. Put Stephen Road down. Free kick Stephen Road.
Yes, and there's the pass in toward Collins, or Lenigan. It's Lenigan, and Lenigan's chipped in to take a mark. And, well, I said at half-time they've got to get more value from Lenigan. He's just picked up a clearing kick in the back pocket. And no sooner do we call it that he's down in the forward pocket. And he's an amazing player, Lenigan, Alan.
Interesting, the man on the mark, Colin Faulkner. Have a look at the bandage on his left thigh.
Oh, well, that's a solid one.
So he's obviously going to be slowed up in this remaining half of the game, and obviously he's going to have trouble keeping up with Michael Lenigan, who's hit the post, unfortunately, for Sandhurst. But Cole Faulkner could be in a lot of trouble in the last half.
Interesting point, just so I could chip in a minute there. Neville Kyle just given me the statistics there. Since half-time, Michael Lenigan, who had only had 5 kicks up until half-time, has now had 3 kicks and 2 marks in this quarter alone.
Well, after the kick out, GoldenSq have got the mark through Greg Williams. He and Lenigan both coming into the game. Billy Nalder puts the big hands up, and the policeman takes another mark. Hand passes to the running Bow, and boundary umpire said he carried the ball out of bounds before he hand passed on that occasion. And I'd say he was a trite unlucky. I was just going to check scores there before, Richard, so I'll do it now after 9 minutes of the third term. Sandhurst are 11-8-74. There they are on their screen now, and GoldenSq 10-6-66 as the boundary umpire now prepares to put the ball back into play. Gary Kerwin goes up with Ross Adlam, who got the punch away to Blaby. Blaby fakes the handball and then drives a torpedo around toward Elkington, but Billy Nalder's up in front again, and it's Nalder to take the mark. He plays on now like a greyhound. And with the torpedo up toward full forward, there's the big arms of Ross Adlam, Billy's opponent this afternoon. And Ross Adlam's taken a good mark in front of the disappointing Frankie Coghlan. Well, there's moves aplenty here. Back to Nalder again. They're having kick-to-kick practice at the moment. Shane Hartney goes in. Comes to Brian Coghlan eventually. Off the ground by Alan Patterson. Scrambly play at the moment. Bow goes in hard. Put Blorfus down on that occasion, and the umpire eventually calls for a ball up. He let it go for quite a while there. Sandhurst have Gooch playing on the outer wing. They've got Bow on the ball. There's the bounce now. Well, now they've got one in the back from Patterson, not paid. Gooch is the flyer now, and he races in on top of the ball, picks it up, left foot pass around the corner to Ward Kerwin, who stood his ground well, came to McAvale, got the hand pass to the running Collins, runs into the open goal, great tackle Kenny Smith, and no dropping the ball paid, came now toward Greg Hull, who's got time, chips it home, and well played Greg Hull, and he is becoming a match winner. 6 goals to Greg Hull, and we're only been playing 10 minutes into the third term as Sandhurst get away from GoldenSq. 12 goals 8 to the Bulldogs, 10 goals 6. A match-winning effort so far by Greg Hull and the Sandhurst forward line with 6 goals.
Might have been a trifle lucky. I thought David Collins could have been penalised for throwing the ball in the goal square there. Looked like he one-handed it out, but Greg Hull was quick enough to grab the ball and shoot it through for his 6th. Neville Klein has just pointed out, off the ground is Paul Bow, taken off by the Sandhurst bench.
Well, there we go, and they're away again, the Dragons. They're getting on top in the third term. Elkington kicks long up toward the half-forward line. Good bounce now for Rodder to bring the ball out of defence for GoldenSq. But Mal Cowling, experienced there, chipping in front of Bradley Gooch to take the mark. Fired the hand pass toward Blaby. GoldenSq making some mistakes in this third term. Blaby definitely got a push on that occasion, and he'll come out with the free kick in front there of Kevin Walsh, the Sandhurst wingman. Blaby drives long toward half-forward, hard there, looking up into the sun. It comes to the back of the pack. Johnny Williams. Jones goes in, taps it over the back, but Sandhurst have got runners here. Well, there's a good tackle. No one can pick up the ball until Mark Road comes away with it. He drives it to the grandstand side flank, and the ball beats Michael Lenigan, and also over there for the GoldenSq side, Terry Blorfus, by the looks of things, over the boundary, and will be thrown in about 50 metres around from the GoldenSq goal. They're trailing by 14 points. Frankie Coghlan taps to Andrew Storer. Brian Coghlan for GoldenSq went in. Tripped over at the vital moment. Now a free kick's going to come out here to GoldenSq. And from a distance, it looks as though it could be Blorfus, or is it Vic Allen?
Vic Allen, I think, Shane. Yes, Vic Allen's got the ball over there.
15 metres too, Richard.
Just measuring it up, yes. He got 15 metres. I didn't see the infringement there, but makes it a little bit more ominous for Sandhurst.
Well, the kick coming now from Vic Allen. He's kicking into a pretty strong breeze, but he might have driven this one home, I think you'll find, or is it offline? 1 point, had the distance, but not the accuracy. And Alan Besley checks scores in the third term of the BFL Grand Final.
Well, we've been playing about 13 minutes now into the third term, and Sandhurst 12 goals 8 to GoldenSq 10 goals 7. This breeze coming across the ground now more noticeably, and obviously this is going to help GoldenSq a little bit in the last term too. There's a magnificent kick from fullback from Belser.
He looks out there for Frankie Coghlan, who just can't do a thing right today, but this time comes out with the ball. Well called, Richard. Oh, but he's lost it on the bounce. He's having a shocking day, old Frankie. Got it toward Michael Lenigan, who missed out. Out goes Patterson. He got it across there now to Greg Williams, and the pass from Williams was a beauty. And Blorfus, playing a good game today, has taken a strong mark in front of Elkington. He fancies himself for pace too as he drives into the forward pocket area. Belser goes up one-handed. Got the hand pass to Storer. He goes across ground now to Mark Road. And there's the driving kick around the wing position, looking out there for Maloney. He's out in front of Rodder. Ball goes over the top of both players and is over the boundary line. Wing position, grandstand side. And a very, very tense crowd here now with this grand final having everything, Alan.
Yes, I think it's built up since half-time, actually, Sean. There's a terrific crowd here for the grand final now.
After the throw-in, GoldenSq have got the chance through Greg Williams. He drives around the wing. Brian Coghlan making good position, yes, and he's taken a strong mark against Billy Nalder there. Not too often they beat Nalder for the mark. There's the long kick from Brian Coghlan. Johnny Williams misses out, kicks off the ground. In goes Tony Jones. No free kick. Stacks on the mill, calls the umpire.
Well, from the state of the ground, Shane, with the dust rising as the players go, you wouldn't believe it possible that we had a round of matches called off in July, would you? It's absolutely incredible. It's a sunny day, beautiful, and here we go. Mark Road got the ball out of defence, played all right.
He's done well, Mark Road, no doubts about that. He's a good stopper down there in defence. It comes to his brother Stephen now. And here's the flyer. He gets the hand pass to Storer. Good open football here from Sandhurst. And the long kick from Storer, 65 metres looking down there for Kerwin. McAvale went up. No one could take the mark. It's on the ground and GoldenSq good enough to clear through Noel Dillon. Great steady back pocket player. Up toward half forward. Up go the hands of Sergeant Bill. He punches long. Vic Allen's trying to back up here for GoldenSq. Oh, ran back into trouble that time and must get a free kick against him. And it's Bradley Gooch to take it on this occasion for the Dragons.
Gooch will kick long down towards centre half forward. No one there really at home except for Kevin Walsh for Sandhurst. Coming through the pack there was Greg Hull. Chipping the ball in front of him quite cleverly is Dean Kruger. Hasn't done much today, hasn't been on the ground a lot. A hand pass from Maloney over to Hull. Hull drives the ball deep into half forward line, and there's McAvale on his own, Shane.
Yes, McAvale's got the chance as he drives for home. Davey might have touched it, I think. 1 point only. And Sandhurst back to a 14-point lead.
Approaching the 15-minute mark of the third term with Sandhurst 12-9 to GoldenSq 10-7 as Davey kicks it into play.
He looks for Colin Faulkner. There's been an infringement here, and that's against Greg Williams. Silly football from the Mickelson medal winner that time. Infringed while the ball was in the air. He certainly doesn't agree with the umpire's decision, but we watch Kent Ward now line up from 40 metres, 45-degree angle off the side of the boot. Who's got the pace? Kevin Walsh out in front, was it? No, it was McAvale. Came to the ground. GoldenSq trying to get the ball away. Charger Davey, I think, will earn a free kick there. And Charger's game has been steady. Certainly nobody can keep up with the leads of Collins when the ball is delivered properly to him. Davies' kick was a poor one, but finds Rodder. And Rodder now will look for Mal Cowling. Bradley Gooch backs up better. And Bradley Gooch has got the pace out in front of Cowling this time. Picks it up. Fires the hand pass across to where Elkington misses out. Goes to Johnny Williams. He fires it long toward Cowling, but Gooch is in front again. No free kick. Shane Hartney dives in on the ball there. Comes to the back of the pack. Frankie Coghlan tries to pick up. And the umpire this time is going to call for a ball up right in front of our broadcasting position. We've played now for 15 minutes of the third term of this Bendigo Football League Grand Final 1983.
Oh, nice knockout from Patterson. Straight to Shane Hartney, though. He evades one player, goes for the kicker, but he's out of bounds on the full. No, Rod Threlfall said free kick back here, and Shane Hartney will take the free. Well, that's lucky. Supporters here calling out the GoldenSq. They need a goal square, they're saying, as they're trailing by 2 goals, 2 on the board, 14 points. And Shane Hartney will take this clearing kick and should drive the ball long. Now he goes for the handball to Elkington.
Elkington's got it now, half-back flank, drives in toward the centre. The pass was a 4-1. Maloney misses out. In goes Cole Faulkner. He's bundled over by Belsar. Back to Maloney. And Maloney gets the hand pass to Walsh. Put him under all sorts of pressure. The tackler was Allen. Eventually it came to the player there in Gooch. He's a goer, that Gooch. He got it out looking for Stephen Road.
Good play, Holly.
Beautiful play by Hull. Punches it onto Stephen Road. Hand pass to Maloney, and he'll go for home from 60 metres. Puts it down toward the running Coghlan. Here's danger for GoldenSq, but the ball won't run for Frankie Coghlan today, and beats all players to the boundary line for a throw-in.
Cole Faulkner in trouble in the centre of the ground. We did notice he's got a thigh heavily strapped, but I would say that Faulkner is having a lot of trouble keeping up with the pace of this game.
Charger Davey, the player in the picture there now, coming out of the back line. Very reliable player, Charger. His 10th grand final for the square. And Faulkner, the injured man there, with the strapped up like a trotting pony, taking the mark. Sandhurst 12-9-81, GoldenSq 10-7-67.
And Cole Faulkner drives to centre half forward. Billy Nelden misses out this time. Came to Brian Coghlan. Here's danger. He fires it in toward Johnny Williams and Shane Hartney. Johnny Williams is the better ball handler. Fires it to Lee Gallagher. And you can put down the glasses about that one. Now, the umpire's having a few words to say here, but I'd say the 2 fingers will go up. No doubts about that. And GoldenSq now reduce the margin to 8 points.
Yes, they move now to 12-7 and Sandhurst 12-9. Sorry, 11-7 to Sandhurst 12-9. Another goal there to Lee Gallagher. That's his second for the afternoon in the BFL Grand Final.
Johnny Williams set that one up, Richard, with some beautiful ball handling up on the forward line.
Yes, I thought Shane Hartney was caught out of position a bit badly there. He, player number 1 for Sandhurst, he seemed to be in 2 minds about what to do, and Johnny Williams banged the hand pass to the very, very agile and useful Lee Gallagher.
There's the bounce. Patterson palms down toward Greg Williams. He was tackled, dropped it like a hot potato, said the umpire, and it's going to be a Sandhurst free kick. And Kent Ward will be the recipient. He'll fire the long hand pass to Bradley Gooch, who's got time to run around Greg Williams. He'll run now and kick down toward the full forward area. Charger Davey and David Collins. It bounces over the top of all players. and took a leg break on that occasion. Well, I suppose it depends which way the batsman bats, Richard, but anyway, it's gone through for a behind, and that takes the Sandhurst side on to 12-10-82, Golden Square 11-7-73. After the kick out, Dylan Marks drives toward the centre. Lawfus and Elkington comes to the ground. Big Billy Nelder going for a run this time. Fires the hand pass to Lenigan. He gets it to Shane Hartney. Welsh drops what he should have taken. Butters up well. But then tackled. Oh, too high, calls the umpire.
Very lucky Kevin Walsh. Very lucky Sanders to get out of that one. Big Bill Nolder played it like a rover that time. Charger knocks away from Collins, and Stephen Road evades in the paint on the far wing.
He's a great player, Stephen Road. He's on top of Pollock in this quarter, and he's found Michael Lenigan. I can't work out what they're doing with Rodder this quarter. He's in a ruck roving role, I think, or possibly in a stopping role across that half back line. Michael Lenigan will have a shot here to the top of the side of the boot, and the Golden Square crowd quite pleased with that one as they see it sail straight over the fence on the full.
20 minutes gone in the third term, and Sandhurst 12-10 to Golden Square 11-7. A poor kick from Michael Lenigan.
Very poor kick indeed, Alan, for a player of his experience, who's tipped to go to a BFL club next year. That should have been right up into the teeth of goals.
And I'm sure Golden Square supporters expected it to be, and it was a great sigh of relief, and Bronx cheers for Lenigan when the ball sailed right over the fence. We've got a great grand final on our hands. Golden Square will be coming home with the aid of a slight breeze. Very warm springtime day in Bendigo. Fitness is going to tell. Players will be tired. Broadcasters will be tired too as it goes out there toward the grandstand side on the half-forward flank for Sandhurst. Kerwin was the flyer. He punched it toward the boundary line, and it will be thrown in with the Dragons holding a narrow lead, and Greg Hull has kicked 6 of their 12 majors, and has been a sensation down there for them. Free kick with a ruck infringement here will go Alan Patterson's way against you, Gary Kerwin, and Patterson to take the kick. Drives around the grandstand wing. Paul Rodder sets himself here with Belsar. Ball punched away by Jones, came toward Billy Nalder. He couldn't pick up on that occasion. Patterson's in there too for the Golden Square side. Or was it Lawfus? It was, but not too much happening there. And the lump of leather will be sent into the turf again, and the umpire calls for the bounce. Billy Nalder goes up. Shepherded out that time by Brian Coughlin. Bow does the roving. He drives towards centre half forward. Good mark taken here by Noel Dillon. And that familiar sight as he burst out of defence, but a shocking kick, and Elkington takes the mark. Elkington kicks the ball straight back from whence it came. Collins was in front of Davey. Davey playing a good stopping role as Hull knocks it out toward Brian Coughlin, and Frankie Coughlin going in. Now Kevin Walsh picks up, and he chips the pass across, and Sandhurst can raffle this. Oh, and Maloney and Gooch have missed out, and I'd say, Richard, they can count themselves very lucky.
Very lucky, because the ball was in Gooch's hands for a time, and then in Maloney's hands, and umpire Rod Threlfall has given the mark to Maloney, but there's a few Bronx cheers coming from this side of the ground. I'll bet there's some from the other.
Yes, I saw that 3 players had hold of that ball before the umpire blew his whistle, but Brendan Maloney's already kicked 1 goal this afternoon in the grand final, going in from centre half forward. There's his kick. It's a high one. Umpire right underneath it, and it's a goal. A great lifting goal there to Sandhurst. Maloney kicks his 2nd goal, and Sandhurst retained the lead here in the BFL grand final of 83. Well, an interesting decision by umpire Threlfall there, Richard.
Well, it's a very, very controversial decision, that one, because I thought Bradley Gooch had his hands on the ball for some short time. Then Brendan Maloney appeared to scoop it away, but Threlfall's closer than us, I suppose, and he's the man that's paid to do that job.
Well, it's on the scoreboard, Richard, and there's a diamond infringement going Sandhurst's way, and Billy Nalder's saying, I'll go long, fellows.
He's
and
playing a great game.
There's the torpedo looking for Collins, but Charger Davey, who's in my book one of Golden Square's best players, has taken the mark. Great leadership from Davey as he fires into the centre. It's Coughlin and Belsar. Brian Coughlin recovers better, but Belsar lays a great tackle on, goes toward Jones and Pickering. Pickering bursts through. Sandhurst are looking the more determined at the moment, but Pickering nailed on that occasion.
Well, wants to go on with it, Pickering too. Wants to go on with it, and he's given away 15. But you could term that a frustration 15.
Cole Faulkner drives toward full forward. Big flyers wanted. They haven't been there for Golden Square this quarter, but the umpires pulled out a mark out of all that one. Goodness gracious, well, I don't know where he got that from, but it's going to be Golden Square to take the kick, and Alan Patterson. Well, Al, what did you think of that one?
Oh, well, Patterson was playing in front, so the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt that was there.
Ball drops on the goal square. Golden Square in front, no mark. Bow comes down with it. Goes to Hartney, and Hartney drives around that outer half-back flank now, and Chris Pollock is the player to meet the ball first in front of Stephen Road. He drives across now toward half forward. Frankie Coughlin goes up. He gets it over toward Bradley Gooch, and Gooch has got the mark, and Gooch is going for a run. Away he goes, drives toward half forward. In there is David Collins. Michael Lenigan's tackled beautifully by Rodder. And the tackling of this game.
Good tackle, Paul Rodder. Put the tackle right on him, and there was no way that Michael Lenigan was getting him past. Interesting too to see that right here on the boundary line is the Sandhurst full forward David Collins. He's right up here with with Peter Charger Davey. What the situation is, I don't know. Maybe he's been told to run him round a bit.
Well, I see Kerwin up there in the goal square, so perhaps they're resting Kerwin for the final quarter as Brian Coughlin gets the run of the ball now. He's had one bounce. He's on the outer side. He'll fire toward the goal square. Big Alan Patterson's got the set here, but the man in front, GoldenSq anyway, and there's certainly been a good mark pulled down. Looks like Greg Williams from here. We'll just wait till he turns around. Or is it Johnny Williams, Richard?
I think it's Johnny Williams, yes it is.
And Johnny Williams
has got the ball.
He's only 10 metres out. And he's snuck it home, I think. No, he's missed it.
That's his second miss from out in front of goals today, and Johnny Williams, he hasn't got his goal-kicking boot on for sure today. We're approaching the time on mark here in the grand final with Sandhurst 13-10, GoldenSq 11 goals 8. It's going to be a great finish.
We're in the third term as Noel Belsar plays on now from the kick out and has got plenty of time to come around onto his favoured left foot now and send a left foot torpedo right down the outer wing. It's Faulkner leading in the race for the ball. In there too was Maloney for the Sandhurst side. Frankie Coughlin's there as well. The ball's right down in front of our broadcasting position. And Alan, a feature of this game has been the tackling, especially in this third term. It's been fierce.
I think Sandhurst have really come out fired up after a half-time speech from Dennis O'Hare, and they are the more aggressive side in this third term of the grand final.
Yes, I agree with that free kick there. Paul Bowe had his hand on Lee Gallagher's side, or his in the kidney area, and that was a definite free. Good pass to Brian Coughlin.
Well, Coughlin's got it at centre half forward. He's 65 metres out. Fires a long one looking for Big Alan Patterson again. He made good position or had the hands on the ball. Comes to the ground. Big Alan lays a beautiful tackle on that Sandhurst player in Shane Hartney. But the umpire deemed it a push, and he got the hand pass away toward Pickering, who drives it out the outer side of the ground now where Brendan Maloney takes the ball. He got the hand pass to Bradley Gooch, and away goes the runner. And a little bit of a to-do behind play between Mel Cowling and Elkington too, thank you.
They don't mind a bit of business, those two, either.
No, you're quite right. As it comes back now from the GoldenSq defence, Paul Bowe leads in the race for the ball. In there too was Greg Williams. And the umpires pulled out a kick to the Mickelson medal winner.
Yes, Went did that well, I thought. It was right in there looking for that free from the moment Paul Bowe tried to get past.
Well, Greg Williams has got the ball, defensive side of centre for the square. They trailed by just 14 points in the grand final. Flyers wanted Brian Coughlin's the man with the ball when it hit the ground. He fires it to the running Alan Patterson, who dodges around Storer, gives it back to Coughlin, and Coughlin's got time now to fire into the goal square. And the lever from the back is Johnny Williams. Jones butters up well, misses what he should have taken. Beautifully shepherded for by Johnny Williams. Fires the hand pass to Alan. Alan fires it home, and I'd say that was your goal, Johnny Williams, because your shepherding there to allow Jones a free passage was beautiful to watch.
Yes, very good play indeed. Where the Sandhurst backman was that's supposed to be picking up Vic Allen, none of us know. But excellent play indeed by GoldenSq, and my word, they're forging right back into this game.
GoldenSq.
They've got the wind in that last quarter. 13 goals, 10, 88. Sandhurst to 12 goals, 8, 80. And a grand final and a half we've got on our hand here today, Alan.
My word, it's going to be a great grand final as Warren Wigmore sends the ball into the ground once again.
Third term, time on. Sandhurst lead narrowly. Nalder got the tap away to Frankie Coughlin. Coughlin can chase out of the centre now. He's out in front of Noel Dillon, who butters up better. Michael Lenigan chips in. Here's danger. Came toward Blavey. There's a scramble down there. Bowe goes in for Sandhurst. And there'll be a ball up at centre half forward. The breeze blowing to the city end. It's going to favour GoldenSq in the final term. And as those legs get weary, that wind will seem like a 10 or 12 goal breeze, I'm sure. Mark McAvale there held on to after he took the ball out of the air, but had no chance whatever to get rid of it. And we're going to see a bounce here now between centre half forward and full forward. Sandhurst in attack and leading by just 8 points. Siren not far away. Nalder taps it down. Kentwood was challenging strongly there for the Sandhurst side. Hull came out with the ball, but the umpire's not going to give Sandhurst the benefit of the doubt here. He said the GoldenSq player didn't have time to get rid of it. And it's a bounce again. Charger Davey gets it to Rodder. And Rodder chips in a little pass toward Pollock, but Stephen Road, who's on top in that wing, has taken the good mark.
Yes, Stephen Road done well over there for the game. Pollock's done the odd useful thing or two, but I'd say on the whole game and full, it's Stephen Rhodes' ball game over that side. He's passed it accurately over there, and the player with the ball is Mark McAvale, I think, Shane, isn't
No, it's Gary Kerwin, actually.
Beg your pardon, Gary Kerwin.
Yes, and Kerwin will have the shot here. It was a beautiful lead and a beautiful pass that time. And we saw Lenigan lead there, but Kerwin fancies himself onto his favourite right foot. He pulls the ball back around with the breeze. It's going to land on the goal line. Charger Davey thumps it through for a point as Alan Besley checks scores late in time on in the third term.
Yes, we've been playing nearly 4 minutes into time on in the third quarter with Sandhurst 13 goals 11 to GoldenSq 12 goals 8.
Well, we couldn't have asked for a better grand final. It's had everything. As Cole Faulkner prepares to kick out now, he looks for Adlam. Nalder punches away, comes to the ground. Hull's got the chance. Goes now toward Collins. Here's danger. He puts it high into the air. Big flyers wanted. Kerwin had the front berth. Kenny Smith does the spoiling. Comes to the ground. Maloney leads in the race for the ball with Faulkner. Ball beats all players to the boundary line. And it's going to be thrown in now with Sandhurst deep in attack and looking for a goal at the end of this vital third term, which they've had the better of. Throw in now. Adlam punches.
Big Percy Adlam straight out of bounds.
The captain of the
good
square.
one.
He punched straight for the boundary line, Richard.
That's okay. That saves a second or two, doesn't it?
Certainly, and a goal here to Sandhurst would be a real lifter. GoldenSq realising they're right within touch at the moment. As Welsh plucks it out now and kicks up toward Greg Hull. All over the back was Greg Williams punching away. Came to Charger Davey. He drove back toward the centre where Gooch butters up well. Gooch drives to full forward or bounces over all players. Here's danger. Cole Faulkner has had the foresight right on the siren to punch it through for a point as Alan Besley checks three-quarter time scores in what promises to be a terrific BFL Grand Final now with the last quarter coming up.
My word, GoldenSq to kick with the breeze in the final term, but at three-quarter time here, Sandhurst 13 goals 12. They lead GoldenSq 12 goals 8. Richard, a couple of thoughts on how you saw Sandhurst come back in that third term.
Well,